Welcome back, everybody, to the Metroid Fusion speedrunning tutorial. The last video we covered Sector 6, and we're going to cover Sector 5, which can be a little repetitive in some aspects, mainly because of the fact that you kind of have to do a little bit of a loop around the sector. More than once, pretty much. So it's very easy to, forget to grab the ice missiles, because you've gotten, because you might get into such a habit of, okay, I've already done this, let's leave. Big shoutouts to Secret Key. But hopefully, I provide you all with enough information here for this one. Alright, so to begin with Sector 5, again, gonna make a quick save here in the navigation room. So the first trick, if you're willing to go for it, is a little bit more advanced than some of the other stuff that's been shown off. Sorry. That's not necessarily correct. It's not super advanced. It's just a door fix, but the timing is a little precise. So what I'm going to do here is when I start running, I'm just going to open these doors as I go through them, and right before I get through this door, I'm going to jump, but I'm going to remember to keep a beam charged, a fully charged charge shot at the ready. So when I jump through the door and as I fall, I'm going to release the shot at a very specific point. I go right, and I kind of messed it up, but the timing is a little tight, because you have to hit that block with the charge shot as you're falling. So it takes an R shot as like you're coming down here. And you have to time it up just right while you're kind of coming through the speed booster. You can fire it a little early here, to kind of make sure one of the things hits. But right there was a dead shot on. So it's gonna take, to go for this, it's gonna take you a little bit of time to kind of get it just right. Jumping through the door where I am fixes the door enough, and I believe it doesn't save like a second, it saves like 16 frames or something. Wow, for some reason the beam did not fire. That's kind of cool. I must have pressed the button on a frame that it just didn't accept it, or something weird. So I got it that time. It's very important when you're going for this. Once you get through the door, let go of the right input. If you're holding right, as you're going towards the ladder, you're gonna grab the ladder instead of falling underneath of it, because you can see I can jump here and grab the ladder right here, and like all the way, let's see, right about there. This is probably the bottommost that you can get on the ladder. So if you end up grabbing, if you keep holding right, you'll grab the ladder automatically. You don't necessarily want that to happen. So, it's going to take you a little time to kind of get the inputs down, especially the timing on that shot. Even, when I come through here, even if you don't run, jump through the door rather, you can just run right through the door and do something similar. Because you're going to get a speed booster regardless, and it'll save you some time. When you activate speed booster as you're moving through the room, you just kind of fall right off. You're gonna have to, time that shot up anyway. But, it just takes some practice. You don't have to go for this. You can easily just clear out the enemy, jump, and then fire a missile, because that's a missile block there. You can't get destroyed with a bomb, you have to destroy with a missile, so you fire a missile and you roll right through. Yeah. I'll do this, you know, a few times. Of course, YouTube is fantastic. We can kind of slow everything down to a quarter, a half, 3/4. So you can really kind of break it down what exactly I'm doing here as I'm breaking it down. Something like that. It's not incredibly difficult. It just, you know, like with everything, takes a little bit of practice with the timing. And, you know, over time you'll get it. There are times even when you think you've mastered it, that you'll miss it. Like I miss it, you know, from time to time myself. I've missed it a few times in this video. You're moving so quickly, things happen. So when you come through this room, you're just going to fall right down, and you're just going to kind of move right through. So I'll make a quick save right before this, because I want to kind of explain while moving through this room. So the way you're going to move through this room, you can keep a charge shot ready at all times. Whoopsie. You're going to keep a charge shot at the ready at all times. Let me make the quick save here. Just come through, and you just want to keep moving the entire way through. You can stop if you want. One missile will take these guys out. And it's very important, like we mentioned with the ladder thing before, as soon as you release the jump button and your horizontal or your vertical momentum stops, you'll grab the ladder, which is very important here. Grabbing the ladder quickly. You can kind of see as I'm moving through, I kind of run up here and I wall jump off of here. The higher you are, the more likely you are to land up on this block here. If you're a little low, say like, I don't know, kind of get it like right there, you'll grab it. The higher you are, though, the better chance you are to get up onto that ledge and have it not be, you know, as big of an issue. Or not really an issue, but you'll waste less time, so you don't have to ledge grab. Right. You could also jump up here and do something like that as well. It's slightly faster to just get the wall jump and just press A and jump again on the ladder. Now it's very important. You see, I'm holding B while I'm climbing up the ladder. It's because what I'm hoping to do is save some missiles, as well as, you know, take out an enemy as quickly as possible. So when I get to be, you know, on the ladder, like around here where I can grab this ledge, you don't have to climb all the way up so you're up here. I kind of prefer to climb right there, so that way as I kind of climb the ladder, not the ladder, the ledge, as I'm climbing up the ledge, I hit R to release the shot. Or I just, you know, I release B to release the shot. Kind of something like that. As long as I'm hitting the enemy there with the charge shot, everything's fine. So now, okay, so now we let go of the shot. Now I'm just going to run across and I'm going to fire, not that, because, well, realistically you're not going to hit both of those. So as you're running across, you're just going to fire a missile and kill that last pancake as you fall down. And there's a little something you can do here when you're falling down if you time it up just right. If you start to go left and then right at a very specific point, I'm going to try to get a good visual cue on it. Let me see, where's that? I think it's that square box in the background. That's tan. Or it's just timed, or I'm just used to timing it up. I used to have a visual indicator for this, but I think it might be the steel supports in the back. That was my indicator. So as I'm falling down, you can see right here, this first one. At this point, I'm going to start moving left. And when I get to this point, I'm going to begin moving to the right again. And I'm going to, as I fall down and as I'm about to, you know, miss the ledge or land in front of it, I'm going to do a small jump extend. And by doing this, it'll give me just enough distance to where I land on that ledge underneath the awning. So it'll look something a little like this. Something like that. Or well. So again, like, I start moving left right about here, and then I start moving right again, right around this area here. And when that's all said and done, putting all the pieces together will look something like this. Hopefully. I missed it. That's fine, though. Very close. Very, very close to it. Not a big deal. You know, coming through here. Alright. Easy as pie every time. Alright, so now this is the second big room. And this is the reason why we need Varia's suit prior to coming here, is because we wouldn't be able to make it through this area without it. So, we're just gonna keep a charge shot you know, as we move through this room. It's always important to keep your beam charged, just in case you need it. So we're gonna come through, and we're just gonna fall down here, and we're just gonna come down here. So, to progress in this area, there's speed booster blocks, so we're gonna need to go to the right. And this room can be, you know, slightly different every time you move through it because of the waivers. The waivers have a few different movement patterns here. So, I'll move through this room a couple times, and I'm going to explain as I move through it here what I'm doing. It's a quick, short hop here, and I'm not going to worry too much about that. If you have your beam charged after you fire this down, like, and the waivers where it just was, you can fire either a missile or a charge shot at it to get it out of the way. Because we're going to need to go in this door. So your first target is going to be this door specifically. Because we need to build up a speed booster. We have to activate speed booster. So, when you come into this room here... Ooh, excuse me. When you come into this room, you can just run right in. If you feel that you need more distance here, you know, kind of clear it out, and then start to come this way. It's very important here, though, that when you go for the speed boost, you have a charge shot and you're angled down, because there is the possibility that this guy can, you know, that waiver can be inside the blue X hitbox, and it'll just eat your shot. Something similar to that. So to get the fast one, the fast speed booster in the shortest distance possible when you run in, you can turn around at this pipe here, or just about like right after it, and then start running. You go a little bit past the, right about here, this will probably break the first block. If not, it's very, very close to it. But, you don't have to, like, especially when you come in here, you don't have to worry about killing these crab enemies here. Because what you can do is you can just turn around before you even get hit by that, by the first shot. And of course, once you pass through, you're just gonna fall down. And those two waivers, you saw me kind of, you know, dispatch of them fairly easily. Sorry, but they're going to be in different positions every time. So the first one I killed with a pseudo-screw attack, and as I landed, I fired a second missile diagonally upwards to hit that enemy. And it just so happened to be in a perfect spot where a diagonal missile would kill it. Let's... Oops, hang on. Start this again, and you'll see we'll probably get two different patterns, and you can kind of tell that I'm getting different patterns there every time. Unfortunately, those patterns were not the best, but it happens. No big deal. Just come in, avoid that hit, and hopefully we don't get trolled. Thankfully we didn't. Perfect. So once we're past this point, give me these missiles. We're just gonna continue to charge our shot and then fall down and morph before we hit the ground. And you know, potentially hit that that waver. It's important that we're just falling to the right and we morph before we hit the ground because we have to, you know, hop up onto this morph ball tunnel and lay a bomb. Running, and then right up there. As you lay the bomb, you're just gonna roll right through. Now, if I do this with that waver there and all in one shot, it's very possible that that waver is going to be in several different locations. So I'll give you a little bit of an example of where those locations can be. Let's do this again. So he's off to the right. I'm just going to unmorph and hop out of it. So as I come through, I'm pressing up as well as, you know, as I'm falling off. Or was I pressing A and up? So I come through and I just, you know, jump right over it. You can kind of tell where it's going to be as well. Just based on, okay, I don't see it. It's probably going to be coming right at me as I exit this morph ball tunnel. So I need to jump over it. You can ball hop over it. That's fine too. You can unmorph and fire a missile and then morph and roll over again. That is probably a bit faster. But whatever, you know, gets you through the room very quickly. Now, as you're kind of doing this, you got to keep in mind the next room you're going to have to lay another bomb. So you want to kind of keep it so that way you are ready and able to just lay a bomb. This might be a little interesting here. I didn't go far enough in. Probably worked out just fine. Like that. Like that. It's going to be another hop. Easy. Easy every time. It's a lot of these rooms now, as you're moving through it, another skill that you're going to have to get used to is reading and reacting. Because a lot of different enemies now have different patterns. There's more enemies, you know, that you have to keep track of. And depending on their patterns, you're going to have to do some slightly different strats, different movement strategies, just to get through an area. And that's completely fine. So, you know, it's all dependent on reading and reacting in some cases, especially with these waivers. These waivers are incredibly interesting the way they move. They're almost always going to be in a different spot. Like, take for example the waiver that you have to kill as you go for the Shine Spark. Ow. So that guy's not there this time. And now he's going to be in a very different spot than he was last time. That was mostly the same. Until that guy's a little bit closer. That guy's in mostly the same spot. And you can kind of see this one now, so you can kind of just roll right under him for the most part. And that's the first big room. So, this next room... There's quick save. This next room, or this next stretch of rooms is going to be fairly simple. You're just going to roll right through. You can jump high, and jumping high would, you know, you can kind of see they all kind of, you know, jutted into the wall. And the reason for that is when you are, you know, and you can kind of see it there as well. When you've got a... There it is again. You know, these waivers, their primary attack is they'll waver up and down, but when they see something, they will dive right at you. And I'll show it to you yet again here. You can kind of see it as they do it, you know, as they're kind of coming through. They're kind of just spinning right at me. So the reason you would kind of want to, as you come into this room, just you can ball hop up to just jump high, is to kind of put all of them, you know, in a high enough position to where when the bomb goes off that you've planted up high, you can just run right under them untouched. That's best case scenario in this particular situation. Now, you can also, you know, if you get them low, you can see them kind of hitting them right through the wall as they're stuck in because their sprites are, you know, kind of through the wall at this point. So, see you, buddy. So you can farm a little bit if they are a little low, and you can kind of clear the way. So if I just run right in, or roll right in, say, and do this, I can clear these guys out to some degree. If I get a few that are a little low before that bomb goes off, so to kind of clear your path, so you're not impeded in any particular way. Now, when you're in this room, once we get through the door, you're just going to continue running and shoot down, and you'll fall right through. Now, once you fall through, you can begin spinning to the left. And the reason you're going to want to spin to the left here is because of the fact if you spin to the left like this, you kind of just land on the ledge. You can fire the beam, do a bit of a short jump extend, or a fall extend, and to land on the ledge just to secure it. But you can land on that ledge if you start holding left as you fall through the there's that little block opening. And then here you're just gonna run left. There's not a whole lot of different room strategies in this first pass through for now. Just gonna run right through, and I'm gonna make a save right here. There's something very particular that you can do with this. Actually, I'll make a save after I open the door. That was a little bit premature. So this is the yellow hatch that you have to come open. This will allow you to go get the ice missiles. So I'll make a save right here. Now, there are two ways that you can go about exiting this area. Two. You can if you do a little bit of a jump here and land in this doorway, open the door, jump up into this corner, and land in the doorway. You can turn around immediately. This is not recommended, by the way, if you're just starting out. You can turn around and you can kind of run this way, get a shine spark, store a shine. Oh. Alright, well, essentially what you would do is you would have to use that and use it like right here. Hold right and you'll get a spark. You'll store it here, you'll jump here and come this way, and then you would use it right about here. You would run to this point and use it, and you would shine spark directly upwards. This is reverse ice missiles. This saves, I think, 1 in-game second and is a Jagger G strategy. Jagger, many years ago, said at some point everyone's going to be using Jagger strats because the Jagger strats saved an extra second wherever he thought of them and wherever he tried to use them. This is another such instance. Now, you can't, again, I made that look very, very easy. I'm surprised I got it on the first attempt, if I'm being completely honest with you. That trick is frame perfect. And this is a 60 frame per second game. So, essentially what you need to do, you set it up like this, turn around and start running. You'll get the speed booster before you pass through the first KGO, and as you land, you have to press down on the exact frame that you land. You have to, by pressing down on the frame that you land, you store the spark like I did. As soon as you get it, though, you have to start running, and you have to, and I think I may have delayed a bit, which is why I didn't get it, and open the door, and you have to open the door before you use the spark, because if not, you're going to start here, and you're going to hit the door, most likely. And it's it's really tough, and you can see I failed it the second time. It's not the easiest trick in the world to get. If you don't get it, don't feel bad. You can grind it out and kind of learn the timing for it. Because just like with anything, it's, you know, if you can kind of build a rhythm, build a timing, and build muscle memory for it to hit a specific frame every time, then more power to you. But, you know, failing it like this and going for it again, I think the time loss is anywhere between 25 to 30 seconds of time loss, which is really a long amount of time if you fail it. So you'd want to get it first try every time to make it viable. And since we go by RTA now, I'm almost fairly certain that the you know, this trick would save a few extra seconds in real time because there's fewer door transitions that you're going through. So, you know, if you're feeling bold, go for it. But nobody really goes for it. A lot of times in marathons, we'll give it one attempt because it's, you know, 30 seconds, it's harmless, whatever. But in actual speedruns, it's, you know, not really used too often. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the F just happened. My best guess is I hit the save platform there. Which is another thing you have to look out for. I apparently was too low on the staircase. But again, like, just going for it once, it's not too big of a time loss. Again, it is a little difficult being a 1-frame trick in a 60 frame per second game. That I'm apparently making look very easy. Oh my god, I am running across the top of that. Holy crap. I'm sparking too early, I guess. Alright. I'm hoping to get this fairly quickly to kind of show off the correct positioning and everything else you have to do with it. Just so that way you have, like, a visual representation. Like, you can kind of see me getting it a few times in a row there, but, which, not easy, not very consistent, but, you know, with practice you can kind of get it fairly easily. And I kind of described it as best I can, so if I don't get it here within a little bit, it's not a big loss. There are videos that will show you the entirety of it, and you can kind of pick up on the visual cues based around the trick. The Jagger strat, we refer to this as reverse ice missiles because we're getting ice missiles, you know, coming from the way that we exit. So that way we don't have to go all the way around. So let's, I'll give this a few more attempts. If I don't get it, it's not a big deal. It'd be really cool to be able to get it. And again, this is another trick that you can pause buffer as well. This one's very similar to the one that that I covered in Sector 3, to start Sector 3, as you're running off of a ledge to kind of store a spark. And, wow, that one was way too early. But I can kind of try to pause buffer, even though I don't pause buffer ever when I do runs. I've always considered it to be a waste of time, but even when the game was being run in RTA. Nope, I pressed down way too early. Again, I'm not great with pause buffering. All the tricks that I go for are non-buffered, and a lot of them are, like, frame-perfect tricks, so, like, if I get them, that's great. If I don't, no big deal. So let's see if I can get it this time. That was too early. There's no way I get this. Oh, I got it. There you go. Just like that. Easy, right? Reverse ice missiles. Ayy. Alright. Easy peasy, right? And then, here I am. See, first try every time. You can't prove it You can't prove I didn't do that first try. There's no video evidence that I did not get that first try, and if you say otherwise, you are wrong. So now I've got my ice missiles. Easy. And there have been some, like, tests done to try to get out of here reversed by using an ice missile, because the way missiles work is that, you know, when they're fired, they're not actually fired here. They actually start a little bit ahead of the arm of the cannon. So there have been, like, kind of tests done to try to hit that button with a missile to try to open it going reverse. And what you would essentially do is you would get a speed booster, and I believe it might be TAS only, but I can attempt it. But you would start from here, and you would try to get a speed booster. And as you get the speed booster, you kind of fire right about there to push the missile through the barrier to hit the button, but it does not work. So that's one way to get ice missiles. That is just one. other way is you do it this way. The natural way. You just come in here, and this room is going to be... I'm going to exit and come back. This room is going to be very, like, wall jump heavy the first time I go through it. I will go through it a second time, but I'm going to kind of explain as I go through. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to wall jump off this wall right here. You don't have to do that one. I'm going to make this jump here, fire that diagonally, wall jump, fire, and then roll right through, and boom. Okay, so, a lot just happened there. Let's clear out the enemies, and I'll walk through it very slowly. Also, I got ice missiles. Perseverance pays off. So when I first came through here, I kind of did a wall jump here, and that guy was a little higher. Can you not? And I kind of fired as I was running across, and I did something like this, right? Well, you don't have to wall jump. You can just kind of jump up along this wall and fire at your, do an R shot at the peak of your jump. And you can see that sometimes when I do that, I'm going to either fire above it, or one of the pieces will kind of ride along the ground. And that'll kill the crab that's there. So you'll just come up, and then once I'm up here, just do kind of short hop up onto that ledge, and then you can kind of just come up here. And I do 2 quick hops as I land. Like, I do a quick hop as I land, so that way I don't have to fire the shot. So that way I can keep the charge shot charged and ready for this guy. So I fire it as I'm running up, like right about here, and then I wall jump. And the reason I'm going to wall jump here is because I can land right up here. I'm going to take care of this guy so that he's not in my way. Wow, okay. Thanks, dude. Fire this way, and then once I'm here, you kind of saw me, I kind of go to here, then here, and then I grab that ledge. So I kind of wall jump into that little pocket. So that way I can not only kill the guy up top, but I can also grab the block, morph through, and once I'm down, I kind of just unmorph. I shoot, and I want to land right about here. If I get about here, I'm able to then kind of run so this one is very particular as well, this positioning, for a very specific reason. If I start here, or like at any point here, if I start further back, like if I start like here, I'll reload the room to kind of show what I mean. But, like, if I start further back, so not here, but, like, here, I'm gonna get a speed booster too early, and I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna grab it, start here, and I'm gonna charge a shot, I'm gonna shoot this door, charge another shot, I'm gonna hold R through the door transition, so I can shoot that button on the earliest possible frame. So that way I can open the gate, and I can run right through it and get a speed booster, so I can speed boost through that room. That'll be used twice. Once here, and once on the second time we come back into this area. So that's the kind. So that was me kind of walking through the first time that I did it. You don't have to follow that if you don't want. You can kind of, come up here, and I believe it's this wall. No, it's not. Where is it? Well, I know this wall in particular is. You can bomb this wall, and you can kind of climb up this way. Actually, how far down does this go? This goes all the way down, pretty much. Okay. So, let's reload the room. So let's see. When we run in, you can kind of see that, okay, well, nothing you can do there. You can kind of just lay a bomb there, too. And that's kind of what's done in the, it's kind of done in the, what do you call it? In another alternate room strat. Where you can kind of freeze an enemy, but that's going to be later. I'll show that off later, but you can, once you lay the bomb, you can, just kind of wall jump up here if you want to. It's going to be very specific, where you gotta jump, so, like, you can jump in that hole as well. Come on, dude. Or dudette, sorry. Sorry, Samus. And you can just climb this ladder right up, all the way to the top. Right? Easy peasy. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can do kind of what I did, but like a little bit of a modified version of it. You know, if you want to lay a bomb here, you're absolutely able to. That's completely fine. You can also just grab this ledge for that thing. Shoot both these blocks out, kill that guy, and then just kind of make your way up at your own leisurely pace. The first way that I showed is more of the speedrun route that you would use. Most people, when they're coming through the room for the first time, they do the way that I first showed off. It's slightly, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as you might think when you first see it. So I'll do it one more time just for posterity's sake. I'm gonna keep it charged. I did not keep it charged. Oops. I'll jump up, fire, keep it charged, do a small hop. And I gotta see, and you can kind of see right there. When I fired as I was coming up, if I'm a little off, I hit the blue X there, which is a problem. And, you know, you waste too much time, you're gonna get different enemy spawns, and then you're just gonna run right through. And again, just hold R through the door transition so that way you fire the beam at the earliest possible time. Now you're back in this big room, right? Easy. Wonder if you can... blocks stay destroyed? I don't think they do. They sure don't. Okay. But once you get a speed boost through this room, you're just going to come up here. You can wall jump. You can kind of do a wall jump off of this guy here to land right here. You can do 2 quick wall jumps. You're gonna want to keep an eye out for this guy. Conversely, you can just run to the right, jump, and grab the ledge, and you're just gonna move through this room. And then again, as you come through this door, same thing with the door we just passed through. Just release, as you know, you can either release the shot through the doorway like I am, like this. So that way it fires immediately. Or you can, I'm going to kind of see what I'm going to do here. I'll just show you. I'm coming through. Press. Boom. Easy. Very, very quick. Very simple. Press of a button. You're going to open the gate. Unimpeded progress right through. Come right through. And ice missiles. Perfect. So now that we've gone through the 2 ways that you can get to this room, reverse ice missiles being one of them, and the normal route being the other, we're gonna discuss getting out of this area now. So I'm gonna make a quick save right here, because there are a couple different things you can do. And it's very important to note, I didn't show any gathering of items on my way to this room, because there are no items to gather up until this point. So, at this point, if you want to grab some extra items, now we would do that. Right? So we're going to come through, and the first item that you could potentially get is going to be right here. Yeah, I was a little low. That's unfortunate. Now that we've got ice missiles, we can freeze enemies. We'll freeze that guy, and then you can come through here. I don't want to morph yet. Kill that thing. This is an item you would get in 100%. You wouldn't necessarily want to get it in any percent, especially at this point, because usually when you get this item, you have power bombs. You can lay a power bomb, clear all those blocks very quickly, so that way you don't have to wait for bombs to go off and that block to respawn. Grab yourself an extra E-tank. Not necessarily one I would recommend getting, but it's there if you want to get it. Darn, I was going to try to do a swag jump. It is possible to get there without freezing the Ripper. So let me see. I don't remember I kind of remember the placement for this, and I almost had it when I did it the first time. I think the placement is the second dot. So you can kind of see on this wall that there's 2 little squares. And I'll freeze our little buddy here. Along that wall as it's going up. on the right side, right above Samus. The one that's right at the top of the screen, I think that is like right below where you want to. So like this guy right here, I think you want to do it like right about there-ish, if not a little higher maybe. So let's see. A little high is not good. Nope. I got it. There it is. Right about there. You can do a jump extend and make it. It's a very precise position to hit while you're falling. So it's not. That's why I kind of recommend not going for this one, because it's so hard to just hit that specific point as you're like falling down the shaft. So like as you're falling down, you have to kind of hit a very specific point, and I just was under it very slightly. So as you fall down, you can either fall like, you know, down the left side here to kind of get into this door as soon as possible, or you can kind of fall down this right side and come up in here. I would not recommend getting this unless like you absolutely have to. And jump up, open that, reveal that, and jump on that guy, and then there's a missile tank that you can grab. That Ripper is RNG, where it's placed, where it spawns in. I do not recommend getting this missile at all, but it is here if you feel the need to come get this one. So rolling right through. Once we come into this room, there are a couple things you can do. So you can see that so I'll show you that, you know, what happens here. So you would usually wait until that spawns, come up here, and then, you know, you can kind of just jump right up and out, right? You kind of grab this ledge and be up and on your way. Another thing you can do is, as you enter this room, fire a shot at your earliest possible. You know, fire a shot. Oh, dude, come on. Come into the room. Sorry. Jump and fire a shot, then run and fire a missile as it spawns to kind of freeze it at as it like becomes corporeal. You can end up firing missiles down through it, kind of like that, and you would kind of just fall right through it until it becomes solid. But you kind of just come in, jump. I missed. I'm getting dribbled, and then just it's a very quick, like as you land, it's a very quick wall jump to the left. Very, very quick, very smooth. You don't have to do that. You can freeze, get up here, climb, and then be on your way. This room, there is really no mixing strategies here for how to get through this room. So let me make a save right here. There's really no confusing how to get through this room. There's only one way. So you're gonna run in, and you can kind of kill that little guy, like where I killed him, or you can just run in right about there, jump and fire, and so position Samus's front foot with the middle of that platform. It kind of goes down, then up, then down on the pattern, and you'll see it when I unpause. Because, well, I fired a little too soon because the timing was slightly off, but it's this position right here. And then you're just gonna hold a charge shot until it spawns in, until that yellow X spawns the crab in. It'll always move to the left or to move to the right here, and then you're just gonna want to position yourself right about here. And you can wait and freeze it, and then come over here and do it, and start running this way, or you can, as it spawns in, just kind of start running, fire, time up the missile, fire, open the door as you run, and you're just going to run right through into this area. So, when you come into this area, you saw I kind of just did a quick, like, jump here, and then jumped up there. Ow, stop. You could do that. You can kind of wall jump off of there. You saw I grabbed the ledge, though. So, kind of doing a wall jump there is not necessarily the fastest. The fastest would be to kind of do something like that. As you're running, you kind of okay, and like that. That's a little bit faster than grabbing a ledge, because once you're up here, you can just run right out of this room. Oh, excuse me. Yikes. So after this, we're just going to be leaving. Now, it's very important that you can miss getting ice missiles, like I mentioned. Coming out of that first upper door, you can just go up and out, because essentially you're going to be coming out of this door to the right. And we're just going to do just that. We're just going to jump up here as quickly as possible. And then we're just going to run to the right. And we're going to shoot this wall out. This wall is shot out easily. You can jump, grab the ledge, and shoot like that. Or you can kind of jump here, release a shot, and do that. Freeze that guy or kill him as you see fit. Usually, it's faster to wall jump off of that. But generally, it is. It's faster to wall jump off of this guy as you're running up and out, because you can just kind of get all the height you need, as opposed to kind of grabbing the ledge and pulling yourself up. It's very smooth to kind of just go, okay, you're going to jump to the left anyway, and then you're just going to shift your momentum with a wall jump to the right. Come up this way, and then go out to the left. Now, as we go out to the left, I'm going to do a quick little jump here. You can see the door kind of fixes itself through the transition here, right? So what I'm going to do is as I come through this door, I'm just going to jump kind of like near the top or the middle. And you can kind of see now that it's a very good visual indicator. You kind of saw there. But just kind of jump through the middle. And what I did here was I'm just going to run, and I'm going to jump right before the edge. If you do it, it's not frame perfect. You have a few frames of error in what you can see. But I can kind of run over here, jump up like that. And you can see Nightmare in the background flying by, right? You can see his silhouette. So you've got some foreshadowing and some background shadowing. So Nightmare flying around in the background is actually your trigger to know that you have gotten ice missiles. If you don't get ice missiles, you have yet to activate. It means you have yet to activate the trigger for the event flag to advance, and you won't see Nightmare flying around in the background. So again, we're just going to grab this ladder, and we're going to do the same thing as before, except this one's going to be a little different. So I'm going to absolutely R-shoot here, because of the fact that ice missiles now freeze enemies instead of killing them. So I'm going to freeze him, I'm going to shoot him there, and I'm going to have a charge shot and just hit him as I move through. This is the fastest way to move through, as opposed to freezing and having to shoot. You can, as you pull yourself up, shoot, and then shoot again. Real quick, real easy. You're just going to fall right down, avoid this ledge, and you can now move through this room. And everybody's favorite part of the run, the emergency and Franker Z portion. We won't cover in this video, the next video, but once you come in here, you're just going to jump up, grab the ledge, and you can do this all along one wall here. So you're going to grab the ledge, pull yourself up, and as you jump up, just hold up and to the left at a certain point, so right about here, like right as you get to the ladder, so that way, as the sprite enters the upper portion to like where Samus is, about right there. So like right about there-ish is when you want to start holding left. Not a little bit lower, but like up and to the left. Up and now. And now.
Emergency in Sector 3.
Oops. You can just as easily come up here, grab this ledge, climb your way up.
Emergency in Sector 3.
Grab this ledge over here and wall kick off. Get to a certain point, wall jump off, or, just come in and do grab, and as soon as you grab, you can just turn around and do a ledge grab, or you can kind of, come up here, climb a little bit. I would recommend climbing like 2 rungs, because climbing that little distance like you're seeing, it makes it so that way I'm not grabbing the ledge like that. But that is Sector 5. Usually I'll talk to Adam at the top of the elevator, but this time I'm going to end it right here. And I think I went for a decent amount of time. I hope it was like, not like 30 minutes long. Probably about an hour, but, so this was Sector 5. I hope this was helpful. There's not a whole lot of, like, different room strategies that you can, go about and use in this area. A lot of these rooms are very straightforward. There's not much variety when you get through them. There are only a few rooms. Most of these rooms are connecting rooms, smaller rooms that you're just running through. Some like technical movement as well, that you don't have to do immediately a lot of the time, like the Kago room where you have to run across a frozen Kago. There's a speed booster towards the end of the sector. You can stop and wait, shoot it, go back, and then get the speed booster. That works as well. But I hope that, especially if you want to go for a Jagger strat, which is reverse ice missiles, you can now hopefully practice it a little bit more easily with a little bit more understanding. I wish everybody the best of luck with learning. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, where we will cover emergency in Sector 3. It's going to be interesting, now that I think about it. I'll think of a way to do that, don't worry about it. We've got a whole 6 minutes before the station explodes, it'll be fine. And then it'll cover emergency and main deck before we go back down to get power bombs. So I'll likely end the next video some point after saving the animals. But for now, I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you for watching.